what's up, everybody?
Hello.
Welcome to this week's episode of Megabit. I'm here with my buddy Benito.
How's it going?
We've got 2 new Dreamcast games, if you can believe that.
Brand new Dreamcast games.
Yeah, a couple of brothers out in Germany have been busy making some arcade-style shooters for the Dreamcast for the past few years, and each one of them, after working in tandem, has just released a game of their own. And so we're going to show you 2 of those today, and one of the games they used to work on. The first one we're going to start with is Neo XYX. And this is a side-scrolling shooter or a vertical one. They actually made it so you can change it depending on your preference. We're going to play as a side-scrolling shooter today. These games are really difficult.
Yeah, as side-scrolling shooters are.
Yeah, side-scrolling shooters are notoriously difficult, and this isn't necessarily the typical bullet hell game that you'd expect to find these days in Japanese arcade, but it shares some of those qualities. But yeah, these guys make these games for Dreamcast, but also Neo Geo.
So they make Neo Geo cartridges, right?
They make actual Neo Geo cartridges.
Insane.
And this is a physical product I've got right here. This is not just like a burned disc off a ROM. These guys publish these, and they create really nice artwork and really nice limited editions. Look at the controls set up here.
So like we were talking about this yesterday, like new games on old systems. And apparently there's this whole movement now, right? Like the Super NES games, you can get new Super NES games. So like, that really blew me away. I want to see a new Super NES game is what I want. next time.
There was one that was released a couple months ago called, oh, it's going to kill me. I want to say Nightmare Busters was the name. That's probably incorrect. But it was a game that was developed by a French studio, and it was canned before it was finished. And it was like 10 years, 15 years after the fact, someone finally came along and published it. And it's supposed to be pretty cool. It's like a side-scrolling, oh jeez, I got it to focus here. It's a side-scrolling like action platformer. Okay, I'm doing horrible.
While Peter concentrates,
anyway, yeah, well,
send me some questions from the chat and we'll try to sort it out.
Yeah, once I get my groove here, I can help answer some of those questions as best as possible.
Bob Jones says that there's
Bob?
a Super NES versions of Anne. What does that mean?
Of Anne?
Do you know that game? And A.N.N.E?
No.
Is that an acronym?
I don't know what that is. Okay, Bob, what are you talking about?
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah, Bob.
What's this Anne?
Yeah, Bob. You can't just drop names without explaining yourself. Whoa. Oh, shit. Okay.
So how would you compare this to like the older shmups? And is it like very much in the same vein?
Yeah, this one this one takes after a lot of games that you may have found on, say, the Sega Saturn, developed by companies like Raising, or Taito, published by Taito as well. I'm doing so bad. But you know, it's like really heavy on the mechanical designs and really elaborate bitmaps, and it's really challenging. But the other games that these guys have worked on bear a closer resemblance to something like R-Type, a little bit more slower paced. This one is really just impressive for a lot of reasons, like the speed, the graphics. It's very difficult as well, but it looks really nice. I'm getting my ass kicked. But these guys are like hardcore, you know, longtime shooter fans. You know, the fact that this is challenging is kind of a good sign. That's what these games are made to be, is really difficult. And not just because there are bullets everywhere, but it's supposed to really challenge your reflexes. Yeah, it's, you know, typically you'd be playing this, you know, by yourself, like hyper-focused. Oh, man. And anyway, yeah, I love these kind of games, man. Shmups are not the most beloved genre around the office at GameSpot.
Yeah. They're great.
Yeah.
Like, is this co-op? Does this have co-op?
I don't think so, unfortunately. But you know, these guys are sort of like the bastion of like published shmup developers. A lot of games you see now are released, you know, digitally, which is still good and respectable. But these guys are just really, you know, it's a labor of love for them, and they see it through to the end. And some of their games, the Dreamcast copies are easily reproduced, but the Neo Geo cartridges, those sell out really quickly.
Is it like the same quality too, like as the old Neo Geo? And it costs the same, doesn't it?
Oh, it's very expensive, yeah. And plus, when they sell out, these cartridges go on eBay for a couple $1,000s.
Jesus.
Man, wow.
Wait, so what's the retail cost for a Neo Geo cartridge these days?
A few $100. It depends. If you're buying arcade cartridges, those can be anywhere from $20 to a few $100s typically. If you're buying the home carts, those usually start at a couple $100.
Wait, they're different?
For good games. Yeah, so the cartridges have a different number of pinouts off the circuit board.
Why?
And so
what does it do?
it's a good question. I mean, it was basically SNK trying to control the market.
Yeah. What is it, like the insert coin pin?
No, it's actually more complicated than that. But it gets more complicated really when they started doing lockouts. So you can buy cart conversion adapters that allow you to play arcade games on your home system, your home Neo Geo, if you want to save some money. But for later games that were released, like or actually King of Fighters 2000, I think was one of the first ones that are really heavy-handed with the detection and locking out. So what happens is if you use one of those conversion cards, like a cheap one, you'll see like really bad artifacting and sprite scaling and really horrible sound quality.
That sucks.
So you'll pay a couple $100 for a good converter, and even then, this sucks. Even then, those are hard to come by. They're not produced in mass quantities.
I got a question from the chat here from Philip. Is this from the same people that made Stormwind?
No, so different group of people, but published by, well, you can get these all at the same website that you would buy that. That would be hucast.net, H-U-C-A-S-T. Might be .com, but yeah. If you Google H-U-C-A-S-T, you'll find a store for all these games. But they're very much part of the same community. I want to say Stormwind is also German.
It sounds German. Does it?
It does. Yeah, of course it sounds German. What's really interesting is these guys publish their games with Japanese text on the spine, which is it's a little silly.
I can't see that.
It's a little silly, but these games, having seen them in stores in Japan at premium prices. Okay, I'm gonna start over and do this more seriously.
You're like $1 in this game already.
I'm $1 in, and I'm gonna switch the perspective on this and play it vertical. I guess why not?
You guys got that back there?
Yeah. Do you guys want to do the cropping thing? Okay, never mind.
2.
All right. There we go. So, yeah, these games go for a premium in Japan. Like, they're sought after. People like them, and that's really where the shmup scene is thriving. And like,
oh yeah, those Japanese, they love their shmups.
Yeah, this really great game, Cinemora, came out about a year and a half ago on the Xbox 360, and it's on PS3 now and Vita. And that game is such a revolution for modern shmups, and it reviewed really well at a lot of websites, but nobody bought it. Nobody.
Wait, so how much are these games? How much is a new Dreamcast game?
These typically are priced in euros, and they can be anywhere from 30 to 60 euros, depending on the edition you want to buy.
That's like full-priced game.
Yeah, but these guys, this is no small effort, and I think it's deserving of that kind of money, especially if you want this kind of game.
Yes, compared into this stuff.
Yeah, they're made in such limited quantities, and they can only sell so many copies that price is almost, they almost have to do it to recoup costs, all the time they spent during development.
So how would you compare this to like the next gen stuff, like let's say Resogun?
How would I compare it?
Yeah.
In which, I mean, I'd say it's like just as good.
Fun factor.
Oh, we're doing fun factor.
Yeah.
Oh man, old GamePro reviews. Yeah, no, just as good, just as solid. It's a different type of shooter, and it's a different type of production. But for my dollar, I'd pay a lot of money for a lot of games that I don't have to pay a lot of money for.
Sure.
And I'm happy, with this costing what it does.
Bob Jones asking, have you played Snyder Arcade?
Snyder Arcade? No, I've not.
What is that, Bob Jones?
Yeah, Bob.
Throwing out these random game titles at us.
I want to say this boss isn't the same boss that I fought either when I was playing in a different perspective. It's got the same bullet patterns, but it looks different.
Because you got the top view.
I know, but like the lighting is even a lot darker. All right. Man. What about you, Dino? Do you play a lot of shmups?
I used to. Like, this was one of my preferred games. I love the R-Types, the Raidens.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Raiden is still Raiden 2 is my personal favorite. There was an arcade back home that I used to play. Like, I used to just pump money into that machine.
Yeah.
Because that's what it did. That's what it was designed to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's where this difficulty curve kind of started. But then it's dude, in Japan it's insane. Like the people who chase high scores, there are DVDs out there of people doing perfect runs in games and like
That's crazy.
getting like the highest scores they can. And those DVDs fetch a really high price.
I knew one guy who was like insane at these games.
They even have modes where you basically only get to play for 2 minutes. There's a timer, and all you try to do is get the highest score possible within that time.
And it's straight up 2 minutes. You only get. That's all you get.
Yeah. And so if you don't know and you put your quarter in, you're like, what the hell? It's called Omake mode. Ah, shoot. Ah. Oh, so hard. And sometimes this stuff comes down to, you know, like recognizing certain enemies and remembering their patterns.
Yeah, sure.
But man, yeah, it's also reflex timing, and
a lot of it's also like mentally. You have to not think about shooting dudes, and you're just dodging. You're just shooting constantly.
Yeah,
you're really just dodging.
So that was one of the cool things about Cinemora. I was arguing among the office, and people couldn't really wrap their head around what I was saying. But it's one of the only games where outside of boss fights, you actually need to shoot enemies. I could get through this game just avoiding bullets until I get to a boss, right? But Cinemora, you're constantly running out of time, and you only earn time by shooting enemies down.
So you have to.
Yeah, so you have to. And I was trying to explain that to people in the office, and they're like, no, like, you know, like spaceship games like R-Type, you have to shoot enemies. And I'm like, no, think about it, you don't have to. And,
well, if you're chasing score.
And people did not, I was not allowed to put that argument in my review because I wasn't able to convince
Really?
anyone. Yeah.
For shame, GameSpot editors.
And that was another scenario too, where like not that many people really got why I thought that game was so great, and it's even got an insane narrative filled
Cinemora?
with
Cinemora?
with really dark, like undercurrents of just the worst of humanity represented in furry form. No. So my problem with shmups when I play them is that I tend to conserve bombs and not use them to protect my.
Yeah, me too. You never end up not using them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But there are two kinds of like destroy all bombs, right? In these shoot 'em up games, there's the one that destroys all enemies but leaves the bullets, and there's the ones that destroy the bullets too. What is this one?
Sometimes this one does both. It does enemies and bullets. Oh,
that's for like last second. I'm about to die.
So I'm collecting like a lot of little. Shit. I'm collecting a lot of little bees on here. Those aren't. So those build up to a big bomb.
Oh yeah. You see
so I gotta collect a bunch of them.
Yeah. All the way over there. B. How many different kinds of like guns are there?
So in this game, it's actually pretty straightforward. You don't upgrade too much. Your shot just gets a little bit wider.
It's more spread.
Yeah, but in the other games we're going to check out today, there are different things that are actually really similar to R-Type in terms of like, you know, you get that little pod on the front of your ship, and even some Gradius influence in there as well. Gradius is probably my all-time favorite.
Gradius is the best
shooter series. Yeah.
I remember the first time I got to that level where it had the Easter Island heads.
Yeah.
There was a code for that game too. There was a everything like max to upgrade.
Oh yeah, the Konami code. Yeah,
was it the Konami code?
Yeah, it is. You'd have to pause the game and input it. The same goes for Life Force as well, otherwise known as Salamander.
Yeah. That was a good one. That was a good one.
I love Life Force. It was so good.
Area 51.
Area 51.
That was one of my favorite ones.
That's one of the best shmups on the Super Nintendo.
Super NES launch title, right?
I don't know if it was launch or not. I know Gradius 3 was at launch, and they made that without really understanding the SNES hardware, and there's so much slowdown in that game.
But that slowdown helps you out, especially in these games.
It helps you out, and what's crazy is that all the modern shmups made by companies like Cave, they build in slowdown. And so when you play a console port, sometimes it doesn't have that slowdown, and fans get upset that it's running at the full frame rate, which you'd think
That's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite problem.
How far in are we? What's the time right now?
We are about 15 minutes in, 13 minutes in.
All right, I'm gonna play for a few more minutes on this, and we're gonna switch it up.
T3HHH, the word we're using is shmups, which is short for shoot 'em ups.
Yeah, it's not a lot of people love that term, but shooter these days typically means something entirely different. So, and the community calls it shmup. So, you know what?
You gotta be like the cool kids.
I mean, crap, man. They're the only ones who really give a shit these days,
exactly.
right?
They're the ones who care.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So yeah, and I care. and I embrace it.
So are there secret codes to these games?
I don't know.
I bet you there are.
I bet you there are. Yeah.
Do these guys have a standard code they use? Maybe you can just plug it in.
I wish I knew, actually. I've been meaning to talk to these guys. Once a year, I get to go to Germany for Gamescom. I'm never able to sync up with them. But yeah, so there are other teams such as Watermelon. It's a company that released an RPG on the Sega Genesis a year or two ago called Pure Solar. And since then, they've gone on Kickstarter and they successfully got backed for modern console ports of an HD remake of Pure Solar.
Cool.
Yeah, and so if these guys follow suit, there's been some Dreamcast games. I think Stormwind or maybe Ghostblade are two other new Dreamcast shmups. One of those was Kickstarted. I forget which one, but that's a really good way for these people to get a platform, to get their voice heard, and then to get some funds for more modern development. And the community's out there, especially right now, man. Retro nostalgia is at its peak.
Yeah, I want to see some real innovation in the space though. Like how much of the games are like shoot 'em ups or side scrolling?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So a lot of them really do follow these old mechanics. Another team that these brothers worked on, another game these brothers worked on was called Gunlord, another Dreamcast Neo Geo joint. And that was very much like the Turrican series, Super Turrican, Mega Turrican.
I don't know that.
Remember those? So those were like side-scrolling shooters that had a little bit of vertical exploration as well, like in the map. Not something like you'd find in a Metroidvania, but it had like an interesting system, kind of like Gunstar Heroes, where you could change your weapon and use different guns based on the enemies you were facing. It's kind of cool.
I have a strange fantasy to play Samurai God on my Super NES. Someone get on that. Someone get on that.
Dude, I stand by the notion that that's entirely possible. Oof. Ugh. Yeah, so the guy, the PR guy who's sort of spreading the word for these teams is a gentleman who runs a company called Analog. His name is Christopher Tabor. He just recently announced an aluminum NES.
I saw that. That looks awesome.
With shielded high-grade audio-video components on the inside, built-in 4-player support.
HDMI out?
I think component video, RGB,
sure. I'll take it.
composite, NS video. I don't think there's HDMI in there.
I want it to have a built-in scaler so my TV doesn't have to do it.
I believe it does. Awesome. I could be wrong though. Now, so the other thing there is that it's got full support for NES, Famicom, and Famicom disk games, which are the floppy disk.
The old disk drive stuff?
Yeah,
I had a disk drive. I had a family computer with a disk drive. That was the most cool thing ever. I just borrowed games from my friends and copied them, and it was totally legit.
Right.
Yeah. They didn't call that piracy back in the day.
You used to be able to take blank discs to a store like 7-Eleven and just download games from these systems.
And they didn't care. They let you. They wanted you to do it. Goobshoe Riot's asking, what's your favorite, most recent shmup?
My favorite, most recent shmup has got to be Cinemora by far. Oh, are we frozen?
What happened? Dreamcast crash.
That's God telling us to change the game.
Okay, we'll switch out game. Yeah,
let's do that.
Switch out the game. What's the next on the agenda?
The next one we're going to play is the other more recent game, and that's called Redux Dark Matters. Doo-doo-doo.
Art.
And this one is let's see, this one was done by Renee Hellwig. The last one was headed up by Tim, his brother. Let's get in there. Oh yeah, these guys are really talented together and on their own right as well. I'd be really curious to see them kickstart like a modern HD game. I know they love the old systems, but I'd like to see what they could do with more pixels.
Battlestar from the chat's asking, what's your favorite Sega console game series? He's Phantasy Star and Master System on the Master System.
That's a good question.
I was a Nintendo guy. I never owned a Sega system.
So this is going to be kind of out of left field. It's called Aleste. It's a Japanese shmup series developed by Compile. And one of the games we got on the Genesis was called Musha, which is incredibly rare, but it's a really good shooter. This one's slower paced. I should be better off here than the last one. But yeah, there were a lot of really good Aleste games. There were some on the Master System, Game Gear, and Genesis. And actually, there was one on the Sega CD as well that we got called. What was it called? I can't remember now. But yeah. The company named Compile makes those, and they're really good at what they do. So these had sort of the pre-rendered 3D model turned bitmap look, like you'd find in like Donkey Kong Country.
Saki calls me a blasphemer because when the Dreamcast came out, I was in college and I was very poor. That's why I didn't own one. Saki.
Man, that was the system for poor people. You just buy the system and then burn all your games if you really didn't have the money.
It's true. But I had my Super NES and I was pretty happy.
Yeah.
I was playing PC games a lot already at the time.
What the hell? Man, I was like training before we got started, and I was like, cool, I'll be just fine. It's way different when the camera's on you. I didn't have to talk or answer questions. That's cool. I'm just happy to show these games off. Not a lot of people know that they exist. I get a lot of like weird looks around the office when I say new Dreamcast game, even though they should expect me, of all people, to say something like that.
Yeah. So what's different about this one? Like, what's the deal here? What are these yellow things?
The deal here. These yellow things, they're just points. Yeah, they're just giving me points. This one is definitely more akin to R-Type. At least you can tell based on the model of my ship and
the missiles.
And the little missile thing. I think if I die, I'm gonna have to check the controls because I think I'm missing the option to huck that little unit up front. Or you're supposed to be able to rotate it. That's what it is.
Intern Max says even he owned a Genesis. I bet you that was made before you were born, Max.
Yeah, Intern Max.
So this one looks like it's a little more lenient.
It is a little bit less chaotic, let's put it that way. And I can absorb some hits, that little thing in the front of my ship.
So you have like energy, you have like a health bar, this one, like the pink bar down there?
I believe so, yes. Ugh. These are all still like pretty new. Yeah, you get a charge shot. These are all pretty new, so I've only had so much time to play them, as there are a lot of games out this month that have been assigned to me to cover. These are sort of an opportunity for me to play something I care about. So, I don't know what these guys are doing. They're not hurting me.
It doesn't hurt, but it's not giving you points, is it?
But then it just hurt me. I don't
That's weird. Maybe you have a strange hitbox. It's like only in your ass.
Only in my ass.
If they hit your ass, you're dead. Bob Jones 1980s recalling the Sega Nintendo console wars. Very much like the PS4, Xbox One wars we had.
Man,
today.
they were so
without the internet.
But they were so vocal, like in commercials back then, about like,
oh yeah,
we do what Nintendo don't, or like only just poking at each other and poking at each other, like
6 billion people. What? Really?
Games for 6 billion people.
Yeah, so Dan says the slogan for Dreamcast was games for 6 billion people, which I guess means everybody in the world.
And how did that work out?
How many people actually bought
didn't work
a
out.
Dreamcast? It was way before its time, though. It had internet and all that stuff, or network play at least.
Well, you could say the same about the Atari back in the day. They had modem adapter for that too.
Did they really? Which Atari?
I want to say even as far back as maybe it was
That's like a 300 baud.
5200. Oh, dude, probably lower than that.
You had to put the phone on it.
Yeah. Oh man. My fear of death, I think, is making me die more than I'd like. But I'm good right now. But, like a lot of these games, like this one, and Gradius is famous for this, is that you build up this cache of extra weapons, but then the moment you die, you lose it all, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
There goes everything I was just working so hard for, and then you're like cast back into the middle of the level with nothing.
With nothing, yeah.
Nothing. And that's when you just shove pride aside and put in the Konami code because fuck it. I'd be curious to know how many systems the Dreamcast sold.
Oh, let's see.
I mean,
I bet you Google knows.
I knew like a lot of people that had them just because they could burn games. But then, you know, that was also part of the reason it didn't do so well is because everyone was just burning games.
Yeah.
If everyone just bought the system and not the games, it's not gonna, the hardware is going bye-bye pretty quickly. All right.
Okay, Wikipedia, what you got for me? This article's way too long. If anybody in chat knows how many Dreamcasts were sold, we would like to know. Battlestar thinks that if the Dreamcast 2 happened, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo would bleep their pants. I don't know about that,
It's never gonna happen.
I don't know about that. Because that's what the Saturn was, right?
The Saturn was the Dreamcast too?
Well, Sega, right?
Yeah, but it was before the Dreamcast.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Damn, Benito.
I suck.
Damn, Benito.
I don't play games.
Here, you want to play this one?
Okay.
I'll man in the chat for a second. Maybe you can do
Sure.
better than I can.
Doubtful, but we'll see.
Boom.
Oh, no, not end game. I'll continue from where you left off. What are the buttons here? Is it just X?
Yeah, so well, I think it's A is to fire.
Okay.
And then, oh no, X is to fire, A is to charge. So you hold that down and you let go and you want to fire that.
All right. We were playing with the arcade stick here yesterday. What happened to that?
I've got the stick down here. For Neo XYX though, that the controls are so sensitive that it actually has a slow button that slows you down when you move so you don't move too quickly. And that stick is just super sensitive. So we're actually using
One of these.
one of these, yeah, one of those ASCII manufactured, officially licensed fight pads for the Dreamcast. Those only came out in Japan. Or I think maybe we got like the gray version here.
Is that a bad guy?
But those are pretty valuable in their own right nowadays. People will spend $70 to get one used.
I can't fire that thing out in front of me. Oh.
I don't think so, but like I said, I think maybe we need to go back to the menu and check the controls because right now they're set for a standard pad, and this is technically an arcade stick to the Dreamcast.
Ah.
8.2 million Dreamcast sales, says Intern Max.
8.2. How many did like its contemporaries sell? Actually, it didn't have any contemporaries, right?
No, I mean the PS2 and the GameCube and the Xbox.
But this came out like a year or two before that, right?
So this was 99, obviously, and then PS2 I want to say was 2000. For a while, people thought the Xbox was sort of the Dreamcast 2, more or less, because a lot of series that were developed for Dreamcast that never made it there after it died went to Xbox. So games like Gun Valkyrie, Jet Set Radio, the sequel to that.
Oh, I got lasers. I got lasers.
You got
I was
lasers,
trying to
man.
avoid those, but they're mine. Can I charge while I'm shooting?
Yeah,
Oh, I can.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's a little awkward, but you can do it. You're doing better than I have.
I'm still trying to dodge my own
jinx you.
lasers. I'm still trying to dodge my own lasers.
Xbox 2001. Yeah, I mean the Dreamcast was first, as far as I recall. But yeah, and it suffered the same fate as the PSP, where people just pirated everything, and that's the reason they bought the system, which would then inflate the notion that, oh well, our install base is this big, so we can dedicate so much money to making games.
Yeah, but no one's selling
And then,
games,
oh wait,
right?
no one's-
None of the
yeah.
developers are actually selling games. Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Yeah. So, Intern Max points out 1.42 million PlayStation 2s sold.
No.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, or 142 million, yeah.
Was that PlayStation 2?
Yeah.
But you know, the reason that sold is also because you can pirate a lot of games.
On the PS2?
But you had to mod it already.
You had to mod it, yeah. The Dreamcast, man, for a while you had to install a boot, you had to put in a boot disk and then replace the disk with a burned game, and then people figured out how to make self-booting burned Dreamcast games. Oh, nice
Gotcha.
work, man. You fucking got them.
over?
Or
Is
did
it over?
you?
No, it's not.
Nope.
Oh god.
Oh,
I was
shit.
glad. Oh, I keep all my stuff. Cool. God, those lasers are confusing. My own lasers are confusing me.
So the next game we're going to play, Last Hope. It's actually the version called Last Hope Pink Bullets. They re-released the game with pink bullets, as the name implies, because it was so hard to tell what was friendly and what was enemy fire. And this game does kind of suffer from that same problem a little bit.
So what's the story here?
The story?
Am I saving the universe? I guess I'm saving the universe.
You're saving the universe. Let's see. All right, no story.
Well, who needs a story?
Who needs a story?
Who needs a story?
Well, yeah, these guys usually do like sort of pretty rudimentary, but story-based cutscenes before the game starts.
So now I'm underground in an underground river.
Yeah.
It's a metaphor for life.
All right, guys, we're gonna go to commercial real quick. We'll be back after that. Stay tuned. More Dreamcast shmups coming up.
I lost the front thing. I don't know what happened.
All right, well, you should die
now
anyway.
I'm getting
so we can
destroyed.
Go back. All right,
okay.
Let's go back and change the controls because
I got some initials.
Oh, you got the initials, huh?
I got some initials.
We were missing. Man, it looks like two.
2 buttons?
2 buttons.
There's 2 more things I could be doing. GSB.
But think about how good we'll be now.
What did they do?
Well, so one of them is a bullet soaking and lock-on aura.
Oh, come on. I was playing without defense. Oh, load times. Can't skip.
Good old load
Splash
times.
Screens. There you go.
Oh no.
Oh no. What was I supposed to do? Come back.
Come back to us.
What was I supposed to want to quit out?
Oh, do they not let you change? They might not have support for stick-based controls.
What?
Boo.
Wait, so like these buttons aren't.
No, so those are different buttons than what you find.
Buttons?
Yeah. Because there's no C on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, but I mean, doesn't why aren't the normal Dreamcast buttons on here also?
I know, because they're different. They're made for sticks. The system recognizes stick versus controller.
That sounds like an oversight.
But so the other game gives you an option to change it. That's really frustrating. This doesn't let you. Do you think maybe you hit start?
I did. I totally did.
Was there an options menu? Do you think?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, splash screens.
Hold on, don't spam start. That's
oh yeah, that's right. That's what happened the last time.
Ah, it's okay. Hit the A button. Cool. All right. We spoke too soon. You do get to change it. So yeah, so you can change it here.
What do I change? Oh, I changed the pad. Or oh, there you go.
There you go.
What? That's weird. Okay, sure.
So now that switches your sub weapon. That auto fires.
Oh, now the buttons change.
Yeah.
Thanks for the curveball, Peter. Oh, I'm number 1. What the hell? I have to press start.
Yeah.
Normal, yeah, normal.
Oh, you don't want to play on veteran?
Because normal is like hard mode these days. For like, right? Like these guys' normal mode.
It's still really hard.
Is hard mode for like modern games.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, so where's my shoot now? Here's my shoot, where's my charge? There's my charge. And what do the other 2 do? Bullet, soak, and what?
I think you have to acquire those weapons to use them.
Oh my god, you can hit the ground?
Yeah, you
it didn't do any damage or anything.
It'll show like that you're like red. So if I think you do it too long. Get that thing.
That thing got.
That thing you just got. Okay. So now try the other button.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Oh, it's a lock on. That's way different.
How do I fire the left? What?
You got the controller, man. You gotta figure it out.
My missiles don't go. What do I? What's the button I press? Oh, there you go.
So which one is it?
I don't know. One of them. I spammed them all. Here.
I'm gonna play overhand.
Chat's reminiscing about old consoles. Yeah, old consoles are the shit.
Yeah, I play them every day. I refuse to let them go. Ah!
Like you were telling me, you bought like a CRT recently just to play these games, right?
Yeah, like a few months ago, I bought a 19. God damn it! God damn it! I bought a 19-inch Sony Trinitron CRT for $5 off Craigslist. That when I turn it on,
does it have a dial for the channels?
No, it's not that good. It's not that old. But it's like a flat panel CRT, which is kind of nice. It's not thin.
Oh, it's one of those.
It's not thin, but it's got that flat screen, which I kind of like. A lot of people don't. Like a lot of purists think that that's, I don't know, not right. But it's funny though, when I turn it on, I have to wait about 10 minutes for this like red tint on the screen to like burn itself away.
Burn in.
Okay, that's that C button. Oh man.
Oh, there you go.
There we
go. There you go.
This would actually probably be easier on a regular controller. Oh, but so I only have limited resources of that.
Oh, where's that counter?
That's that pink bar that you thought was life. Yeah.
Oh shit, okay. Wait, so there's no life. You do die in one hit.
You die in one like strong hit, yeah. Oh, give me that. Oh, it was an extra life.
Imminent Stranger wants to see some Commodore 64 games. Like, I'm gonna have a hard time putting that into the system probably. But we'll see.
I mean, when we have to, we can emulate stuff. But so far, I've been playing only games that are, part of my
I think
collection.
it's way more cool to play it with the actual system.
Yeah, I agree. But there are times, dude, like the Genesis is the worst system to capture video from. The way that video signal works is ridiculous.
Really? Why? Is it like a strange resolution?
It's a really strange frequency for the frame rate. So a lot of times what you'll get is like you can pass it through something that'll take the video and upscale it, but then like 30 seconds in, it's like, oh, I'm gonna drop all your frames and lose your fields and video's broken.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's really weird how it just works temporarily. All right.
We should do Sega CD games.
Sega CD games.
Play some Sewer Shark.
Oh God. Night Trap. I come across a lot of Sega CD games in the wild when I'm like looking for old games at flea markets and stuff.
I love the cases.
Yeah, but dude, that's the thing is that those cases are so brittle.
Yeah,
they're all busted and the hinges are broken and the manuals are missing and the discs are scratched and.
But they always look so cool when you line them up.
Yeah, when you have ones in good condition, oh man, they look so nice. Because they stand out so much because they're so weird.
They're huge.
What's bad and what's not? All right. Oh, great.
Oh.
Great. Man. I think I got all those extra lives.
Bob Jones is asking if we're going to play Game Boy games. I doubt that.
Oh, we're going to play Game Boy games at some point. Don't you worry.
How would we do that?
This is with the Game Boy player on the GameCube.
Oh.
Yeah, next week I'm either going to play. The thing is, I've been waiting to play NHL '94 with Tom McShay. That's one of my favorite Genesis
Oh my God,
games.
that's so good. I had that on Super NES. That was so good.
That is one of my favorite games of all time, Genesis or no.
That game is amazing.
But I also kind of want to play the Game Boy Color version of Metal Gear Solid next week to celebrate the release of Ground Zeroes. That game is so strange. It's some people probably know it referred to as Ghost Babel, but essentially it's a retelling of the Metal Gear Solid story, but it like changes up the plot. It's super strange, but it looks really, really good for a Game Boy game, and the animation is actually really nice. All right, it's probably about time we switch to the last game anyway. Let's do it.
Okay.
Boom.
Eminent Strangers, reminding me that Game Boy games can be played on a Super NES. Remember that you got a little,
Super Game Boy,
right?
Yeah,
totally
it can be
forgot
played
about
there.
that.
But so with the GameCube though, and the component cable, you can put it out and scale it up higher and make it look really pretty.
So how does it work? Is it just emulated? Is it you download the game or something?
The GameCube Game Boy player?
Yeah.
No, it's an attachment that goes underneath the system.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. And then you put a disc in the system that's got.
That's an official Nintendo thing?
Yeah. And then it's got an emulator on the disc that you put in the system.
See, that's the kind of stuff that breaks Nintendo. Like, I love that they do that stuff, but like never, that doesn't move units.
No. What's super weird is the component cable for GameCube is really, really rare because you could only buy it online through Nintendo.
Really?
And it's got like a special chip in it.
It's the same one as the Wii one, though, isn't it?
No.
No?
Nope. People pay $120
For the component cable?
for the component cable because they're so rare. They like not that many of them were sold.
Hey, you can play those games on your Wii, by the way.
Shut up! Shut up! But yeah, if you want to play like Game Boy games at their highest resolution, you need the GameCube component cable.
But what is the highest resolution of a Game Boy game?
480p, man. But no, sir, I mean, that's the best way to play Game Boy on your TV, is with the Game Boy player on the GameCube and that. So right now, I'm gonna need to change these controls again, because this thing, you can rotate it. Oh, I can change it here, excellent. Oh, it's gonna be tough. Okay.
ABCX.
All right. As you can see, I can rotate that pot around my ship.
Oh.
Obviously, you really do need a stick, though, if you're gonna do it that way. I'm not gonna play that way, but that is a way that you can do that.
I feel that stick to pad thing should be a switch on the pad.
It should.
Turn into pad.
You're right. You're right. Man, I should have.
Get on it, Sega.
Yeah, go back in time and do that shit. Oh man.
Oh, did you just fire that thing out? What was that?
Oh, that was just a charge shot. Yeah, it's got like a separate little bullet inside of it. Fuck. Your ship does not move very fast at all. That's it. So
What is that, just a wall tuck?
That's the thing about shmups, man. Like the rules change between every game. You, like switching between them, like you train yourself to like. It's like okay, I can hit the wall if I need to, or like don't hit the wall. Oh man, it screws.
Oh
you
yeah,
up
so this is the new game, and this one's done by the two of them, right?
This was their. This was their joint project from a while back.
So just to recap, those last two games were done by like one brother each.
Yeah.
And they joined forces to make this one.
Yeah. This isn't going so well, Benito.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Wait, so is that like little red spinny thing what killed you?
The little red spinning thing that kills me?
Was that what killed you earlier? Because I didn't see any bad guys.
Oh no, I think I hit the wall.
Oh. Oh, you can't touch the wall in this one?
No, you can't.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not a whole lot better at these games, but you know what? They're really hard, even with a lot of practice.
Goob Shoe Riot says this one's pretty. Which one's this?
This is Last Hope, and this is the Pink Bullets
this is
edition.
the Pink Bullets one.
Yeah, so in the past, the bullets were darker, and they would sort of run into the background. And
So
you had a really hard
there's a
time.
different version of this game that doesn't have the pink bullets.
Yeah,
What's that one called?
just called Last Hope.
Last Hope, my bullets are hidden.
And so the game we were just playing before this, Redux, Dark Matters, that's a sequel to Dux, which is a Dreamcast shmup made by the other brother from a couple years back. Damn it, and even that one had a re-release. Fuck Benito. Even that one had a re-release called Dux 1.5, where they changed some of the animations.
Oh, I found us some cheat codes.
You did?
I think so.
What the?
From good old Game Facts. Oh, they didn't have anything. They don't have
Yeah, they have a page, but there's nothing on that page. See, right now there are these little tiny little like flies coming at.
Oh, that
I
sucks.
can't see those things.
You can't see those.
Damn it. There's no auto fire in this too, so if you want to fire single shots, you gotta do the old school tap tap tap.
Or turbo button.
Or turbo button, which I don't have.
I'm reading this forum to find codes for this game. Everybody, like the first guy is like, any codes for this game? And everybody's like, it has infinite continues, why do you care?
Doesn't. I wish I could stop sucking. You come out here and not suck.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh god, this thread just turns into like, why do you want to cheat?
Because this game is ridiculously hard, but it's got cool content, right? I mean, like that's the you want to get further into it, so
yeah,
you
just want to see the
stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to grind this game for 15 hours.
So he's got this little vacuum sphincter down there. It's trying to pull me in.
Is it really trying to pull you in?
Yeah, you'll see it. Well, he's dead now.
Ooh, we should play Atari games. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We should play some Joust.
So I mean, for a lot of those old systems, what we can actually do is like pick up collections for PS2 and Xbox that have like 50
come on,
games.
it's not the same as playing with like that.
It's not the same,
one
but
button.
it's not the same, but it's a lot easier to make happen. Oh, fuck.
It is a lot easier to
Unless
make
we
happen.
want to emulate.
I would be the one complaining if we had to do that.
I want to play Taito Legends 2 at some point pretty soon. That's got a lot of really.
Taito Legends.
It's got a lot
those
of.
guys who made like all these shmups, right?
Oh no! Infinite Continues?
That's what I heard.
Bullshit.
No?
Bullshit.
Oh.
Here, you try.
Okay.
See if you can't suck.
I will
Taito Legends
suck.
2 has a lot of arcade games, a lot of arcade shmups that we didn't get out here, like Geki Renden. You remember that one, right?
Which one's that? What's the English name for that?
That's the English
No
name.
English name?
Yeah. Shows don't really draw a huge audience, though, unfortunately.
They don't. They used to be. Like, this was like the first genre, right? Like,
Yeah.
Asteroids and Space Invaders.
Space Invaders was sort of the arcade game that kicked off the arcade scene and made it really popular in Japan. And modern gaming owes a lot to the popularity of Space Invaders and how it sort of attracted people to games.
This is also the precursor to the side-scroller, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. Was Pitfall first?
Pitfall
No,
could have been before, but I don't remember. We're getting into a period there where it's like a couple years difference.
Yeah. They were probably all talking to each other anyway.
But it's very different though, because like Space Invaders in Japan was so popular that you would find it, a machine in every store, even if it wasn't an arcade, just because people would put so much quarters, into so essentially 100 yen coins were. The circulation of those was in jeopardy because so many people were spending them on Space Invaders that so much of the currency was actually in machines and stores and not in people's hands, which is really interesting. But so it was so popular, that happened. A lot of like street crossing sounds that happened, like when the thing changes from red to walk, they play a sound from Space Invaders on it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And keep in mind too, we're playing this game essentially on hard mode because we're not taking advantage of the rotatable unit on the front of your ship.
You can.
You can, but it's hard with these controls, yeah. It's a lot easier when you have the regular Dreamcast thing because you can just use the shoulder buttons to do it. Yeah. I wish I had more time to dedicate to retro coverage so I could actually know these things going in.
Oh.
It's cool.
You even passed the first level.
You got it.
Wait, so both these do the same? Oh, this is the charge. Okay.
Yeah, Bob Jones wondering why we haven't mentioned Galaga. Galaga's
wow.
great. Galaga's great.
My sister was actually really good at that game. Oh, those things are invisible. Make those pink.
Okay, so more pink bullets. Last hope.
Yeah.
Even more now with even more pink.
All pink bullets.
And then it's too much pink, and they gotta release a new one. It's like, okay, less pink. Sorry, guys. Goops, you're right. The shield can be rotated to fire your bullet and protect you in different ways. But yeah, that's just about it. It's a shield and it's a weapon at the same time. One of my favorite things about Gradius is the fact that you can, based on, you can balance how you pick up speed in weapons, so you can prioritize mobility over firepower.
Speed. Oh, I remember the speed upgrades. Wow, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about those.
And then there are other shoot 'em ups that let you choose the speed. Like you get all the speed built in, so you can just cycle through different.
Man,
yeah.
That's no joke.
Yeah, he sucks you in.
Whoa.
Ah!
Oh no, I pressed the button by mistake. It's hard. Does it rotate the other way with the other button?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to go all the way around.
Try playing top down. Like a stick.
Oh my god. Touching walls, dying when you touch walls is just bullshit.
So Saketumi brings up an interesting point in what is a bullet hell game and what isn't. He's saying maybe he should consider Asteroids one. So
maybe
bullet hell is a very specific is a very specific subgenre where essentially the screen will be filled with bullets at any point in time, to where it slows the system down and you literally have pixels to move between these bullets. It's sure, a lot of shmups have a lot of projectiles coming at you, but unless it has what I was just describing, just like this curtain of bullets, it's not technically bullet hell. But not a lot of people subscribe to that rule, but that's actually where it came from.
Beat you.
Good job.
How far did you get?
I've only gotten this far when playing the game. Ah!
Oh my god.
It's hard choosing just like one game per week. There's so many old games out there that I want to play.
That's ridiculous. Oh, I need to put this up above, don't I? You gotta use these now.
I'm almost thinking about doing like a daily lunch stream on my own channel. But I don't know.
What? Just like random?
Just random old games. Yeah, just like lo-fi production.
Oh, those are bad guys. Can't kill them.
Oh, watch out! Yeah. Because it's crazy. I can think of every game people are mentioning I want to play. We've not talked about Ikaruga yet, Goob Shoe Riot. Ikaruga was a popular Dreamcast shmup made by Treasure. It utilized a system of, you could change between dark and light colors and then absorb or hit enemies harder based on your relationship to their color. And actually, they recently, Treasure just released it on Steam. It's their first game on there. And they let you change it to a horizontal game, kind of like Neo XYX that we played at the start of the show. All right.
This is super unforgiving.
All right, hand it over. Okay, last run. I'm gonna play a little game over, and then we're done. All right.
I'm glad they made the bullets pink, because if those were hard to dodge too, it'd be ridiculous.
All right. So this big guy with the gun here is also sort of an homage to R-Type. In some of the R-Type games, you face a series of these, like, in the first couple levels, they'll give you like one or two gigantic mechs with those big cannons to sort of teach you how to use your charge up and the timing therein.
My favorite part about R-Type is not in this game though. It's the options, like this. You can get those two things.
That's Gradius, my man.
Is that Gradius?
That's Gradius. I should play. I've been playing a lot of the Saturn collection of Gradius at work. I should have that one of these days on here.
Gradius is excellent.
Yeah, and the arcade versions are great on the Saturn. Oh man.
It would be awesome if we could get arcade games into this show.
We can. Like, we just got to use MAME, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, when there's not an option, you know, like I'm not above using MAME.
I guess.
Well, I mean, look. I mean, what's our alternative, right?
We got the super gun.
We got this. So what? I seek out hard-to-find arcade boards that might be broken. A lot of the Capcom games on CPS2, if the battery had died in those, you can no longer salvage those games.
Really?
It's really hard. Yeah, because they had this. They had encryption and they had a flash chip on it that was held. It was a volatile RAM, and so.
Oh, it was like the key to like playing the game.
Exactly. So what would happen was when the battery died on the board, you would lose that decryption key. And you can no longer play them. There's a company out there that has decrypted them and will burn new flash chips to put on your board if you send them to them. Although I don't even know if they still do those anymore. And they were actually, once in a while, they would release those decryption keys for people to use in MAME to add support. But they were very staunch about the timing for that. Any game, I think that was 10 years or newer, they wouldn't release the decryption key because I know. They still consider that game commercially viable. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, one of the problems about playing old games on this stream is that so many old games are so difficult.
Yep.
And
that makes them so good.
I know, right? But at the same time, it makes me look like a dumbass when I'm playing live.
It's true.
But something like Pilot Wings last week was really fun because that game...
It's one of the best games ever.
It's one of the best games ever, and you don't have to be the best to enjoy playing it and put on a good show. So yeah, we're gonna have to... Like, I knew what I was getting into with this one. I knew I was setting myself up for failure. But also, I really wanted to showcase these games at the real only venue that I have on GameSpot to do that, outside of a random feature or two. But man, with games like Dark Souls, Titanfall, Metal Gear,
yeah,
you know, for me to fight for coverage for this is pretty tough.
Yeah.
At least to fight for coverage that would get promotion and then get traffic.
Yeah, the things that people actually see.
Yeah, I could write it and put it up on the site, but nobody would see it. Oh no.
You can't kill those snakes, huh?
You can't kill those snakes.
They're just there.
They're just there, tormenting you. And those are kind of a throwback to Gradius. They have a few levels with these like fire dragons that do a certain thing like that. They come out of these like fiery stars in space, but those dragons you can destroy.
Wait, so this game doesn't have a kill-all bomb, does it?
No, it doesn't have a bomb that I know of. Oh, what the? Dude, you can't even see those guys.
Ooh, Sake's calling out the old 4-player Simpsons game. That was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Each pair of dudes had a little combo.
Fuck! Yeah, it's another Konami game.
That was Konami?
Yeah. That used this, I'm pretty sure that used the same engine as the 4-player like Avengers game and the 4-player...
yeah, those are all awesome.
Yeah.
X-Men.
So, right after those came out and became popular, Konami experimented with a bunch of other 4-player arcade games using the same engine with like these really like radical titles and damn it, I can't even see those.
I'd like to play those. Those sound great.
I can't remember the names because they're so random. It was like, fuck, where are those bullets coming from?
You can't see them, man.
You can't see them. You can see them. Anyway, I don't even remember the names because they were so obscure and they weren't that good. They were chasing like the Final Fight, Streets of Rage type side-scrolling brawler where they were like, oh, here's a bunch of street toughs.
Yeah.
You know, roaming the streets, kicking dudes with mohawks in the butt.
Oh, I think I did play some of those. What the one was called Crime something crime?
I think you might be onto something, yeah. Crime Killers?
Something.
Crime Time. Benito was just handed a secret note.
So just handed us a note to remind you all that there will be no Megabit next week because of GDC. So next week we're going to be doing a bunch of GDC coverage. We're going to be out at some panels. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to see. I think we're doing some postmortems. Anybody know?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of old games, yeah, there will be postmortems there of stuff like Shenmue, the developer behind Defender, the inspiration.
What we got, Dan?
We got Lucasfilm Games.
Lucasfilm Games postmortem. That sounds awesome.
Like 7 people from, old coders to execs and
Yu
everything.
Suzuki is doing the Shenmue postmortem, and I think, hopefully, announcing Shenmue 3. He's there with Mark Cerny, who, even though is a big part of the PlayStation 4, I just found out today, I don't know why I didn't know this, he's a contractor. He runs Cerny Games. Don't be surprised if you see a Yu Suzuki Mark Cerny Kickstarter for Shenmue 3 next week. I'd put money on it, but that's just, that's just me. IGF Awards as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of really good stuff coming out of the Games Developers Conference next week. So stay tuned to GameSpot. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks for another episode of Megabit. I'm gonna play NHL 94 with Tom McShay. It's gonna happen.
We should play 4 players.
We should, if we can. All right, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Benito, thank you for joining me.
Sure.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
See you later.